The Super Eagles camp is officially opened and players are trickling in. But before we talk about the players that are already in camp, let's talk about the list that was released late last week, talking about the players that will represent the Super Eagles of Nigeria at the African Cup of Nations. I mean, as Fahad has said, that list scatter everywhere. Internet won't bust, everywhere won't blow because of one list. But then, I think one particular, reason for the blow, let's start from there. Uzo is back. After the last African Cup of Nations, we thought we're done with this guy. We thought finally we're done with Uzo. Uzo is not only back, we could actually make an appearance. He could actually be the person that will be between the sticks when Nigeria takes on Tanzania. Probably even the second game of the tournament. How does this make you feel?
Honestly, I don't know, because I've looked at it and looked at it and I've asked myself, why did Maduka opt out of it? Because majority of the news we're hearing is Maduka opted out of the team.
And also one of the reasons why it was reported recently that he wanted a guarantee to be first choice, and Eritrea was not able to give him a guarantee, and he told himself that he would rather stay at his club where he's first choice than come and sit on the bench at the African Cup of Nations for 1 year, or for 1 month. Is that patriotic?
Well, if you look at it, I think it's coming from the angle where, when he first made his appearance for Super Eagles, he wasn't like he was this new entity. He was there
for second team of Fortuna Dusseldorf in the second division.
Yeah, so if you look at it, probably mistakes could creep in for something like that. And then I think he wasn't. I think this was the first time he was being introduced to the Nigerian setting, to the Nigerian fans. So I think he didn't expect that kind of backlash.
But this backlash happened 4 years ago, 2 African Cup of Nations ago.
I think
the hammer against Tunisia. It happens after that. There have been 1 Cup of Nations, and this is another one. After that time, he said he wanted to be excused for some time. He was excused when he said he was available for selection again. He was available. I know Nigerians can be brutal, but Iwobi can testify that Nigerian fans are as brutal and as loving as they can be. Iwobi once deleted all the pictures on his Instagram handle because of a bad performance, but Iwobi still shows up, and that's where I wonder if it's a good thing to import these Nigerian Oyinbo guys, because at the end of the day, it feels like the patriotism is missing. It feels like they want it for the visibility. When there's a major tournament, a World Cup, they feel it will give them visibility. But this guy deep down do not give a hoot, do not give a shit about this country.
Yeah, and then if you look at it, one thing I was thinking about was that if Maduka was the first choice, was the one Nigeria's one goalkeeper going into Africa, I think he would have come, he would have showed up. If it was Nigeria's number 1 going into Africa.
But Wabali is still doing well. Do you want them to drop Wabali?
I think that's where he's getting it wrong, because if you look at it, you can't just expect Eritrea to drop Wabali because of what.
And this is even a major tournament. You don't chop and change in the major tournament. You stick with what is working.
I think the fact that he's playing for Udinese, he feels that I'm playing for Udinese. The player playing ahead of me is playing in a South African league with Chipa United, who is inferior.
An inferior league on the African continent. I should be the first.
So I should be the first. So I think that's where he's getting.
And he's doing well for Udinese. Recently, he kept the clean sheet against Napoli. Udinese won 1 goal to 0.
I think that's where he's getting it. Right? I think he should. I think the fact that right now, Eritrea doesn't know who is going to be his number 1. If Wabali is going to be fit actually for.
And that's the reason why Ozo was called according to reports, because we are not sure of Wabali's fitness, and they did not trust that Amas. Now, if they had called with the absence of Maduka Okoye, the other choices were Adeleye Adebayo and Amas Basoge, and if Wabali is not fit for the first game, they didn't trust any of those two to be between the sticks. So they had to bring a player who had tournament experience, but then it's bad experience. Because if I remember any tournament experience that Uzo has given Nigerians, there is no good experience. So I don't understand this tournament experience. It's bad experience, auto experience.
Well, if you look at it, experience will always be experience. I think it all depends on has he improved himself. That's the question. Has Uzo improved?
He has only made 4 appearances for his club this season.
Now you ask yourself, is that
considered 2 goals?
Is that 4 appearances enough for him to actually for us to actually look at, start judging by is he an improved goalkeeper from the time he played for the Super Eagles up to now?
Of course, Uzo is one of the bangers, and then we have bangers everywhere. Of course, we have some that we have actually 5 debutants. And these are from players who have never played for Nigeria before. 5 of them, their very first time of playing will be at the African Cup of Nations. Let's take a look at those 5 names and let's talk about those who deserve it and those. Personally, I believe it's too much to debut 5 players in a major tournament. I think it's too much of a risk. You know, you stick with what works. You do your experiment with friendlies, with qualifiers, but when it comes to the major tournament, you go with the trusted legs. So going with 5 new legs, the total of players who have never played AFCON for Nigeria before, who are going to this tournament is 11. But the players who have never played at all for Nigeria, there are 5. We have Tochukwu Nadi, we have Ryan Alebiosu. By the way, Tochukwu Nadi plays for Salt Wagaren, I think in Belgium, 2nd division. We have Blackburn Rovers, Ryan Alebiosu. I've heard a lot about him. He's an Arsenal player on loan to Blackburn. A right back is doing very well for himself, and in the absence of online, I think we needed that option. We have Salim Fago, the one that has raised a lot of questions. He played for NK Istra, a 2nd division of the Croatian league. I think it's called during the weekend. We have Mohamed Usman, a man who is 31 years of age. The last time he represented Nigeria at under 20 was about 12 years ago, and he did not do well. But Usman Mohamed makes the list, and we have Ebenezer Akinsolumiro, a very prospect, a very huge prospect who is playing for Pisa right now on loan from Inter Milan, and he's doing well. I think they say he has about 88% passes completed this season. So you're talking about these 5 newbies.
Well, if you look at it, we are going to a tournament, and the fact that we are bringing 5 new, I just feel 5 new players is too much.
5 debutants.
5 debutants is too much. Like I can understand the fact that you want a player, you are bringing a player because Olaino is not fit. He's not fit to be in the tournament. Yeah, so Brian Alebiosu can come in for him. Now you are bringing in other players because of what I think you want to go to a tournament to win. This is a tournament that Nigeria hasn't won in I think last time we won was 2013.
Yeah.
And we've not won in I think 20-something years thereabout, or 13 years thereabout. I can't remember right now. So if you look at it, we want to win. We are going to win it. We are one of the teams that has been tipped to actually do very well. Last time we went to AFCON, we went to the final, we came 2nd. Now we are looking to go into another AFCON to actually win this AFCON right now. And now you are bringing in newbies that are new to the squad. And at the end of the day, one of the things that actually characterize a national team is the fact that how quickly they gel together, because we all know it's not like club football where they play week in, week out, where they get to train together, right? Yeah, you can.
Did you think any of this guy will play, talk less of becoming starter? Because number one, I don't see any reason why we needed to take 28 players to the African competitions. I feel it's too much. Even CAF approved 23. They said any extra, I think 20 or 25. Any extra will be on you. So I don't understand the 5 extra from the 23. I believe for a tournament, 23 players are enough. Most coaches don't even prosecute a tournament with more than 18 players. So 23 is already enough, but getting 28. Now, at the end of the day, how many of these guys that have been picked will eventually get to play? Because you can only line up 11 players in the starting 11 and 6 substitutes. How many of them are going to come in as substitutes? How many of them are even trusted enough to come in? Because we still have the trusted guys in the squad.
Yeah, definitely, we still have trusted guys.
We still have the chief. I'm sure, for example, if Wilfred Ndidi starts in the defensive midfield position, if a substitution is happening, is Franco Eka coming in? I don't think it's Ebenezer. If Iwobi starts as number 10 and you want to take out Iwobi, I think it's Fisher Adeyemi Basiru coming in. I don't think it's Usman Mohammed. So at the end of the day, do these players actually get to play, or is this just formality? Is this just to feel our righteousness? That okay, at least we went to AFCON. We see how AFCON looks like.
I think for Richard, I think a lot of Nigerians know him to be a very stubborn man. I think he most likely plays players based on those they trust, those who have been loyal to him. And even there are players in the squad that they find it difficult to actually make it into the team. Case in point, Rafael Loidica. Yeah. I mean, I see no reason why Rafael Loidica is not starting
a regular for Club Brugge.
So why is he not starting for Nigeria at this point in time? And he's been playing very well for Club Brugge for a very long time. And I think so if you look at Rafael Loidica is not starting. So how will these other players who are just coming to the team for the first time start? I think we might make a case for Ryan and Lebush who might
it will be. I think you'll probably be back up to Bright or Samba at right back.
So I mean, if other players that are in the squad have not been playing regularly, they are not even playing at all. So what's that guarantee? What's that guarantee that those that are coming in would actually play?
For example, if you take out Osimhen, I don't expect you to bring in Salim Fago. I expect you to bring in maybe Cyril Dessers, maybe Akko Adams, maybe Paul Onuachu. So at the end of this day, these guys, they look like decorations.
They just look like players that are going there to make up numbers. So that's 3-4. And I think for that, we don't need to bring in players that make up numbers. We need to bring in players that can pull their weight. That can definitely. So I think I just for Nigeria and Eric Chio, I ask you. But you need to set your priorities right. If you are not setting your priorities right before the tournament, what's that guarantee that during the tournament you are going to go find the tournament?
And quickly, let's talk about the players that were actually dropped. The players that we thought they were already regulars, and then suddenly they were dropped. Talking about Christian Tosuke, talking about Tobi Alukudari, talking about Terry Murphy. I mean, is there justification for dropping these guys?
Well, for Arukudari, I ask you, it's all about him wanting to focus on his club football right now. Because if you look at it, he's not been starting very well for Wolverhampton Wanderers, and there's a new coach just came in. Yeah. And so obviously he wants to put himself in that conversation where the coach will actually get to start. I think right now the forward line right now are on a clean slate. Yeah. And probably maybe for I think maybe the lead striker right now for them, attacker right now for them might be Strand Larsen. But then the others are on the clean slate. So he wants to put himself in that conversation. So I think that's why he didn't join the team. Same thing for Constance Uche too as well. Right now Uche is just playing and he's not even been playing. He's not even been
scored in the Europa League the other day, but in the Premier League team he's still not.
I think he's just getting minutes upon minutes in the Premier League. So I think he wants to feature regularly for Oliver Glasner's side in the Premier League, and that's why he has also decided, okay, I think right now what can derail my playing time in the league for Crystal Palace will be going to AFCON. And because if he goes to AFCON,
this is 1 month.
There will be players that will be already ahead of him in the pecking order. So going right now he's getting that playing time. So to get that playing time back might be a little bit difficult for him. So I think he has decided to opt out of the Super Eagles as well.
I'm talking about the camp. Well, Francis, so the key goalkeepers were the first to get to camp. Francis was the first. I mean, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Before Richard changes his mind, somebody said, and then Wabali, although not fully fit, but definitely that's commitment, was the second to get to camp. And as at this point, we have a whole lot of players who are in camp. I think the only players we are expecting right now is Semi Ajayi, Gobu, Amaso Basoge, Ademola Lukman, Chonchukwu Nadi, and all that. I think, okay, all these players are right actually. And later today, we're expecting other players to join. The NFF have launched a campaign for this particular one, Niger for the one. Do you think Niger can actually go for the one?
Well, by how they played the last half, if they can put in a similar effort or maybe increase it a little bit, you can see they have a chance. But
ahead of Morocco, ahead of Tunisia, ahead of Algeria, ahead of Egypt,
Morocco.
ahead of Ivory Coast, defending champions.
Morocco in the AFCON have not been doing very well.
But they are hosting this time.
Yeah, they are hosting, but then they've not been doing very well in AFCON. And so if you look at the countries that are ahead of them, you see Senegal, you want to put Senegal.
But the last host won. I'm sure they want to repeat that.
Well, the last host was Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast are a team that they understand their football in African football.
But you know the best footballing nation in Africa right now is
Yeah, they're the best footballer.
You think they don't want to solidify that by winning the AFCON ahead of the World Cup?
It will be a good one for Morocco to win it. But then, can they actually win? Can Walid Regragui and his team actually go all the way to win the AFCON? It's an interesting one. We have a lot of teams actually that are vying for that position.
So what's the probability of Nigeria actually going for it?
I think if they can improve on their performances, because we saw their performance against them, if they can improve on that, they can do very well.
Should we just say for senior can be available? Because the performance dropped when this
left. Yeah, I just feel they stand a chance, but it's all dependent on them. Can they play very well? Can they score goals? Can they not rely on the toss?
Okay, but I'll call this just an appetizer because in our next edition, in our next episode, we are going to do a full build-up of the African Cup of Nations. Then we'll get to tell you the contenders, the pretenders, the dark horses, preview the groups, and let's see where that goes. But that will be on the next episode of the show.